Welcome to our second lesson on word problems, and today we're going to focus on consecutive integer word problems. Before we get started, just to remind you that we classify numbers in a variety of ways. We've talked about a few of them already. Real and complex, real and imaginary, rational and irrational, integers, natural numbers, whole numbers. You know about even and odd numbers, prime and composite. Those are words you should know, but maybe you don't remember. All ways of classifying or describing numbers. Consecutive integer word problems or consecutive integers is what we're going to focus on today. And what does that mean? Before we get started on that, we're going to look at what I'm hoping that you can do by the end of the lesson. So given a word problem, I can create an algebraic equation for consecutive integers and solve the equation for more than one unknown variable. It's very similar to what we did with perimeter problems in that we're writing a variable in terms of another unknown variable. So consecutive integers, what are those? Well, those are just simply numbers that follow each other in order. So counting. Okay, so think of example 8. What's the next number after 8? What's 9? After that, 10. After that, 11. I'm not going to count for you the whole video, but you get the idea. Okay, so the difference is that we're not going to know what the first number is. The first integer is going to be unknown. So we're going to call it x. Well, if we understand that the relationship with consecutive integers is it's the next number, we can define our second integer using x. So if x is the first one, x plus 1 would be the second one. And look up here. If that 8 was an x, how do I get from 8 to 9? I would add 1, right? So x plus 1. Well, how do I get to the second or the third number? So if this is x, if I add 2 to it, I get to 10. So the third integer would be x plus 2. And so on and so forth. The fourth integer would be x plus 3, because it's the original number, add 3 to it, and I get to the fourth number. All right, so here's an example. Find 3 consecutive integers if 4 times the smallest integer is equal to 28 more than 3 times the largest. That's a mouthful. So let's break it down. Well, we got 3 consecutive integers. That's the first thing I want you to see. When I have 3 consecutive integers, let's let the first one be x. Okay. The second one is the next number after x, so x plus 1. And the third one would be x plus 2. So we've got that set up. Now let's move on to the second part. 4 times the smallest integer, so 4 times the smallest is equal to, so equals 28 more than, so plus 3 times the largest. And now it's just a matter of plugging in the right variable in the right spot. So the smallest integer is going to be the x. So I get 4 times x equals 28 plus 3. But the largest integer is the last one, so x plus 2. And there we have an equation. Now we should be able to solve that. 4x equals 28 plus 3x plus 6. So we're distributing. Combine my 28 and 6 to get 34. Get my x's together, subtract 3x, I get x equals 34. Which means my first integer is 34. My second integer would be 35. And my third would be 36. There we go. Another example. Well, we're going to look at consecutive even integers as well. So it skips a number. 2, 4, 6, 8, and continues, right? You know your even numbers. You can count by 2s. But we skip 3 and go to 4. We skip 5 and go to 6, right? So if my first even integer is the unknown and we call it x, then what's the second even integer? Hopefully you picked up on it. It's x plus 2. Because from 2 to 4, I have to add 2. I don't get to add 1. Adding 1 would get me to 3, but that's not even. The third even integer would be x plus 4. What about consecutive odd integers? Do things change with that? You'd think they would, but in reality, they don't. We're going to let the first odd integer be the unknown x. How do I get from 3 to 5? Well, again, I add 2. I don't add 1. Adding 1 to 3 gives me to 4. That's not odd. So the second odd integer would also be x plus 2. And the third odd integer would be x plus 4. The fourth one would be x plus 6 if I would continue. So we're going to do one of those with the consecutive odd integers. So we're going to find 3 consecutive odd integers whose sum is negative 111. So first odd integer we're going to say is x. The second one would be x plus 2. And the third one would be x plus 4. Sum means we're adding those 3 numbers together. So we're going to add the first number plus the second number plus the third number. So the sum we know is negative 111. The first integer is x, second one is x plus 2, and the third one is x plus 4. Combine like terms, x plus x is 3x, 2 plus 4 is 6. Subtract 6 from both sides, I get negative 117 equals 3x. Divide by 3, I get negative 39. Now, you do want to be very careful here. It's very easy to go negative 39, negative 41, negative 43. Remember what happens when you add. It gets closer to 0. So negative 39 plus 2 would be negative 37. And negative 39 plus 4 would be negative 35. And those are my three odd integers. And that is consecutive integers. We'll do some more word problems with our last lesson this week.